Good morning. Good morning, hello. My name is Malgorzata Szwaj, and I have been involved in European projects for the last 15 years. It started with Socrates and then lifelong learning and now Erasmus+. I think in all about 30 odd international and national and regional projects. All of them had the issue of sustainability in them, and I'd like to thank the organizers of this conference for inviting me to share my reflections on this concept of sustainability. I'm a linguist, I'm a teacher and teacher trainer, and I'd like to start with approaching this concept of sustainability from a linguistic point of view. I have a problem with sustainability. First of all, it's a term which has been borrowed from another discipline, if I may call it this way, another part of life, which is the protection of the environment, and applied to projects and applied to the life cycle of projects and cooperation, which I don't think is a very precise term. It sounds grand, but it doesn't I think touch the essence of what is expected of such projects and their products. Maybe it suggests that it's impossible to attain the desirable plan of producing something which is strong enough to live on its own without any financial support after the end of the project phase. I wonder who invented the term in application to Erasmus Plus projects, and what really lies, what big intention there lies behind this concept. Secondly, I have a problem with sustainability because it's a bit of an oxymoron to me. An oxymoron is a figure of speech which suggests that there are two opposite ideas combined together. For example, black snow, or screaming silence, or cold fire. Oxymorons are very often used in literature and poetry to suggest a certain quality which is almost impossible to achieve, and yet it's quite expressive. But when you think of the practical application of things such as cold fire, then I think technology has found the answer. For instance, if you cook on a cooker which has got the induction hob, then it's cold, and yet it provides heat. So maybe oxymorons have got some kind of philosophical stone behind them, and maybe sustainability in European projects is, after all, possible. I wonder. So I'd like to share some of my reflections on that. First of all, it's a bit like an oxymoron to me, because there is a dichotomy between the product and the process. And what is that should be sustained? The product, you could say. But maybe the most important thing was in the process itself, which is not sustainable because it has come to an end. It has a cycle of its own life, which is finished when the partnership is finished. Another problem with the products and outputs, which are meant to be sustainable, is that they are very often related to technology, and technology dates very, very quickly. We all know all those web pages of other projects which do not exist, references and links which lead nowhere because the server does not exist anymore, etc. So either it's not available and therefore cannot be sustainable, or it's produced with such means of technology that after 2 or 3 years, and 4 or 5 especially, become just redundant. They're not used anymore, and so on. So if the product is to be sustainable, then what kind of product could it be? How could it be built? So it kind of stands to the test of fire, as we say. It stands to the test of time, technology and time. It's a bit of oxymoron. The process seems to be sometimes much more lasting and much more important than the process itself, because it's the if the success is achieved, it's the process of changing awareness, changing one's way of thinking, hopefully to appreciate more, to understand more, to think with a wider range of options in mind. So are the Erasmus Plus projects meant to be sustainable as far as their outputs are concerned, or as far as the process, the journey, the time of creating the output? Well, that's something to be considered. Another big challenge that I see with sustainability of European projects is that there is a lack of pan-European coordination of project results and project outputs. And as a result, there's a lack of cross-sectoral exchange and cross-sectoral creative thinking, which can suggest that something that was developed in one previous project can be a very good cornerstone of another building, of another project. We all know that if something is built from scratch during these Erasmus Plus projects, it's the output. I mean, it's a prototype at best. It may be a good prototype, but it's only a prototype. And prototypes, by nature, are not meant to be sustainable, not self-sustainable. Prototypes are meant to indicate the direction in which further development can go. So are the European projects about prototypes, or are they about end products? Probably the former, although the European Commission would like to say the latter. So that goes back to my issue that there's a lack of pan-European coordination, which could gather and pull together ideas which are prototypes from different projects and suggest that there's a common ground in which then they can produce a further development, a further result, which may be then necessary to be funded through another project. Something else I'd like to say in relation to sustainability is that even though it is an oxymoron for me, black snow, yet there are examples of how it can be achieved, and I believe your project, the CoLED, is an example of such a maybe a perfect example of where the quality of partnership has produced quality output, and maybe that's because another key element of sustainability has been involved, which is the relationship between the target users and the output. That you've made sure that the target users have tested the output, they have been involved in building it or suggesting how it can be adapted to different contexts. Well, whatever it is, I wish you a lot of good luck, and I hope your product, your output will be sustainable, self-sustainable, and will not need any further financing from the European Union. Or maybe it's just a prototype for another, even better prototype to be developed. Good luck. Thank you.